All right, for this problem, it says Bruno Mars is playing on a street corner and he earns $6 for each song that he plays. Nick Jonas is playing at a local coffee shop and earns $8 for each song that he plays. But he also had to pay $160 fee to play there. So he had to pay, he is losing money. After how many songs will they have earned the same amount of money? Well, that's our keyword, same, right? So let's start with Bruno Mars. He plays. He pays. Not he pays. I'm sorry, guys. I can't talk. Okay, he earns $6 for each song he plays. So we don't know how many songs he's playing. That is our missing variable. So we're gonna put X. Now, remember, our keyword here is same. How many after how many songs will they have earned the same? So we're gonna set this equal to Nick Jonas's equation. So he he earns $8 for each song that he plays. Again, we don't know how many songs he's playing, so that is a missing variable. But he also had to pay $160 fee. So if he's paying money, that means that he's losing money, right? So minus 160. All right, now I already have on the left side of this equation, I only have the x, right? So I'm going to go ahead and move that 8x over to the left side because it's easier that way. So what is the opposite of positive 8x? Well, that is negative 8x. Subtract on both sides. And 6x minus 8x, well, that reduces to negative 2x is equal to negative 160. Don't forget about your negative, okay? All right. Now I have all of my x's on one side. I need to get all of my numbers on the other side. So this is negative 2 times x. How do I undo a multiplication? Well, I need to divide. So divide by negative 2 on both sides. This reduces to 1, and I'm left with x is equal to positive 80. This is my answer. And that means that they have to play 80 songs so that they have earned the same amount of money. Okay. So for number 12, it says Katy Perry currently has $180 and she is spending $6 per day. Lady Gaga has no money, but she is earning $8 each day. After how many days will they have the same amount of money? Well, let's start with Katy Perry. So she currently has $180, right? That is our constant. That is not changing. And she is spending $6 per day. So we're subtracting because she is spending, right? It's taking money away. 6x. We have the variable x here because we don't know how many days she is spending. Now we're gonna set this equal to Lady Gaga's because we're trying to find how many days will they have the same amount of money. So we have to set them equal to each other. So Lady Gaga has 0 money, but she is earning. So if she is earning, that is adding, right? She is earning $8 each day. Again, an X because we don't know how many days she is earning money. Now I'm gonna go ahead and rewrite this. So 180 minus 6x is equal to, well, that 0, I didn't really have to write it there, but I wanted to give you guys the visual of what the equation actually looks like. But whenever you add 0 plus anything, it is just the 8x, right? It's the other part that you're adding. So now we have over here on the right side the 8x by itself. So it's easier if I just move that negative 6x to the right side than rather doing the 8x to the left side. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So what is the opposite of negative 6x? Well, that is going to be plus 6x. So that reduces to 0, and I have to add it over here. So then I'm left with 180 is equal to, what's 8 plus 6? Well, that is going to be 14x. And now I have all of my variables on the right side, right? Now I have to get rid of that 14 and move it to the left side. So That is 14 times x. What is the opposite of multiplying? Well, that's going to be to divide. So I'm going to divide by 14 on both sides. This reduces to 1. So then I'm going to be left with x. Oh, sorry about that. X is equal to 180 over 14. But I can actually reduce this. So I'm going to go ahead and find the common factors. So for the top is 2 times 90. That's 180. And then for the bottom, well, 2 times 7 gives me 14. And these reduce. So then my actual answer is x is equal to 90 over 7. And you can go ahead and check your answer by plugging it in to the x over here and the x over here. And if they give you the same number, it means that you did it correctly. It is a true statement. All right. So let's go ahead and move on. Gonna zoom in a little bit. Oh, here we go. It says Bruno Mars has $95 and is spending $4 per day. Rihanna has $40 and is earning $5 per day. How many days will Rihanna have as much as or more than Bruno Mars? All right, so let's start with Bruno Mars's equation. So let's see. So he starts with $95, right? That is the constant. And he is spending $4 per day. So if he's spending money, he's subtracting, right? So for x, we have an x because we don't know how many days he is spending. Now, notice on the other one, the other questions that we had before, in the question that they asked right here, they said like, when will they have the same amount or something like that. But here it says that how many days will Rihanna have as much as or more than Bruno Mars? So that's like greater than or equal to. So Rihanna, when will Rihanna be greater than or equal to? So we're going to go ahead and do the greater than or equal to sign over here instead of the equal sign that we did in the other questions. Now, let's do Rihanna's equation. So Rihanna has $40. That is a constant, right? So $40, and she is earning $5 per day. So plus 5x, we don't know how many days she is earning. So now we go ahead and solve the equation. So we do the same thing as we did before. We're going to go ahead and move all of our variables to one side and all of our numbers to the other side. So I'm going to go ahead and move this 5x to the left side. So minus 5x, because that's the opposite of positive 5x. And then I'm left with 95. Negative 4x minus 5x, well, that is negative 9x. The sign stays the same, and we just rewrite our 40. So we have all of our x's on one side. Now we need to get all of our numbers on the other side. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract by 95 on both sides. And then I get negative 9x. The sign stays the same, okay? And 40 minus 95, well, that is negative 55. Now, we almost have all of our numbers on one side, but we still need to move that negative 9. So that's negative 9 times x. So we're going to go ahead and undo that operation. So we're going to divide by negative 9. Whenever you multiply or divide, you're going to have to flip your sign, okay? So if I divide over here as well, this reduces to 1. And then here I'm going to flip my sign. So I have x, and then I'm going to flip it over. And then that gives me positive 55 over 9. Remember, whenever you divide or multiply a negative with a negative, they turn into positive. So then this is actually my final answer. And if you guys want to check it, you can go ahead and plug in this number into your original equation, into your x's, and then see if this statement is true. So it's saying that this side is less than or equal to this side. So if whenever you plug it in, whatever numbers you get is true, then the statement is true. That means that you did it right. All right, moving on to number 2. So number 2 says a rubber tree is 95 inches tall and growing at a rate of 4 inches per year. A cactus is 40 inches tall and growing at a rate of 5 inches per year. After how many years will the rubber tree be shorter than the cactus? So let's go ahead and start with the cactus. Sorry, with the rubber tree, I meant. So it says that it's 95 inches tall. So that's how tall it is. That is our constant. And it is still growing. So if it's growing, that means it's adding, right? It's adding height to it. It's growing at a rate of 4 inches per year. But we don't know how many years, so we're going to put X. Now, let's go back to the question, because we need to figure out what our sign is going to be. So after how many years will the rubber tree, this is our rubber tree, right? When will it be shorter than the cactus? So if it's shorter than the cactus, that means it's less than, and just less than, nor equal to, because it doesn't say will be either a rubber tree shorter than or equal to. It just says shorter than. So then moving on to the cactus, it says it's 40 inches tall. That's the constant. And growing is still growing. So that's addition at a rate of 5 inches per year. 5x, because we don't know how many years, right? So that is our missing variable. Now we can go ahead and start and moving stuff around. So we want to move our variables and our numbers to one side and the other to the other side. So I'm going to start with this positive 5x. I'm going to subtract 5x on both sides. Oh, I'm sorry, I put a 4 instead of a 5. So minus 5x. And then I'm going to go ahead and rewrite it. So 95, 4x minus 5x, well, that is a negative 1x. I keep the sign the same, and then I bring down my 40. So I have all of my variables on one side. Now I have to get all of my numbers to the other side. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract 95 because I'm doing the opposite sign. And this reduces to 0. So then I'm left with negative 1x. You keep the sign, and then 40 minus 95, well, that is just negative 55. And I'm almost done, but I still have that negative 1 on the left side, right? So I'm going to go ahead and undo the operation. That is negative 1 times x, so that it's multiplication. How do I undo multiplication? Well, by dividing by negative 1 on both sides. So negative 1 divided by negative 1, this reduces to just 1, and I'm left with x. Now I divided by a negative, so what is going to happen to my sign? It's going to flip, okay? And negative 55 divided by negative 1, well, that's just positive 55, and this is my final answer. Number 3 says a fish tank holds 95 gallons of water. So 95 gallons of water, and is losing water at a rate of 4 gallons per day. A second fish tank contains 40 gallons of water and is having 5 gallons added per day. After how many days will the first fish tank have less water than the second? So let's go ahead and start with the first fish tank. So it holds 95 gallons of water. That is our constant, right? That's not being changed. And it says that is losing water at a rate of 4 gallons per day. So if it's losing, that means it's being subtracted for x. We put the x because we don't know how many days are going by. Now, that's the first fish tank. So let's look back at our question right here to figure out what sign we're going to use. It says, after how many days will the first fish tank have less water than the second? So that means that is going to be less than like that. Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and do the second one. The second one says a second fish tank contains 40 gallons of water. That's our constant, and is having 5 gallons added per day. So if it's adding, they tell us right there, it's being added. So that is addition. 5x, because we don't know how many days are going by. So now we can just go ahead and solve. So we're going to move the 5x to the other side. And now I just bring down that 95. And then negative 4x minus 5x, well, that is just negative 9x. The sign stays the same, and then we bring down our 40. So we have all of our variables to the left side. Now we have to move all of the numbers to the right side. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract 95 from this side and also from this side. So then I'm left with negative 9x. The sign stays the same, okay? And then 40 minus 95, well, then that is just negative 55. Now I almost have all of my numbers to the right side. All I have to do now is just divide by this negative 9. The reason why is because this is negative 9 times x, and I'm trying to undo that so that I'm able to move it to the other side. So the way that I undo that is by dividing. So I divide by negative 9 on both sides. Negative 9 divided by negative 9, well, that reduces to 1. So then I'm left with x. What happens to my sign every time I multiply or divide by a negative? It flips, right? So now it's facing this way. And then 55, negative 55 over negative 9, well, that just reduces to positive 55 over 9. And this is my final answer. If you have any questions, please be sure to let us know, okay?